Going to talk about Near. Near Protocol is one of my holds. It is also my biggest altcoin at the moment due to the rise on the screen, right? It's a very good asset and I've been talking about it for a while. We're going to look at some of the ecosystem. We're not going to go too deep. We're not going to go too dark and destructive, but we're going to look at what's happening in terms of marketing, the advancements in technology that they've brought, as well as Polygon. You get the idea. I will talk about some existing products out there that I've got a huge amount of holders and ultimately kind of got smashed in the bear market. It is what it is. Let's talk about it. So Near Protocol. I've been buying this for last couple of months. Got a nice order at $1. I was really happy. But it has been doing okay in terms of price action. If you don't know what Near is, a very, very simplistic approach is basically a blockchain operating system, Web3, OS, very, very simple. It's getting a lot of marketing eyeballs, getting a lot of people interested in it. If you don't know much about it, I suggest you do some research, but it's a very, very simplistic way to look at blockchains and how things should be built on one for a developer point of view, as well as a user interface, right? There's a lot of things happening, right? And we'll talk about them in a minute. But when we talk about this, obviously you can see this here, growing massively. But one of the main elements for the growth at the moment is due to this. Near Foundation and Polygon Labs are set to deliver the future of zero knowledge for, WASM, WebAssembly, essentially, based applications, right? So security, scalability, developer flexibility, and interoperable with the open web. This is pretty big. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of a thing called Polygon before. They're pretty big and they've got a lot of things going for it. Really solid partnership. Now, since that's happened, we've seen a massive boom in the transactions and stuff like that, which makes it more fun to talk about for obvious reasons. Now, when we talk about obviously what they've already got existing right now, in terms of the dApps, there's quite a lot of things here, right? There's all kinds of stuff. There's earning stuff, there's playing stuff, there's developer stuff, there's all kinds of stuff. And this isn't even including the tokens, which at the end, I'll show you where you can find all the other tokens on the NearBlocks website, right? But other things to mention, we have got very, very soon a Horizon kind of event. Basically, an 8-week equity-free accelerator that provides multifaceted support for early-stage Web3 projects. What does this mean? Well, it probably means more and more people are going to come to the forefront and look to use Near Protocol as a way of starting their project. We're in the mix of a start of a bull cycle. What does this mean? Interest is high, people are interested, people will be developing and building ideas over the course of the bearish market, and will look to release them in the bull market. I talk about this a lot on my Patreon in terms of when things come out, when things start, and why I look at certain things where they've done one cycle and they've not had much sunlight, or when we look at certain things in terms of when they release, I look to buy them because they don't get seen. They literally go, they die. It doesn't mean it's a bad project, it just means it's got no eyeballs, which means opportunity. These are the sort of things that will start coming out in the bull cycle where it gets very, very interesting, right? So it's really, really good to see. So we'll see how many new founders come to it and are considering to use Near Protocol. Might see a lot more projects on here, right? That's all I'm going to say. But other things as well. Let's talk about it. Near is kind of getting seen a lot. And I'm going to explain some reasons why. This is one. This is called Dropped. Never really used it before. Embraces digital revolution and win competition for attention. Trusted by Near, right? This is one element. Another element as well. You may like cricket. Cricket is quite a big sport. And if you have a look down here on their website, Near Protocol, one of the sponsors, right? Again, we talk about sailing. I'm not really into sailing, but one of their global partners is Near. It's also Oracle. Rolex is their main one. Big, big partners here. Cognizant. I know. Crazy, right? Again, we talk about AI-powered shopping, unlocking seamless experiences. This is an investment and used on Near Protocol. As you can see, right? So things are starting to gear up a little bit in terms of where things can be going for marketing ideas, new opportunities, all that kind of stuff. But let's look at some of their big projects. Now, these are 3 obvious projects. If you know Near, you'll know exactly what I'm going to say. And if you've been looking at price action, as I say, I've been covering this week on my Patreon in terms of why marketing eyeballs and price action is the greatest thing. Because what's happened with the likes of Aurora is it's shot off to the moon. Now, as I said before, partnerships with Polygon, the network effect of that has spilled over into one of the main, near projects, which is this one. This is one of their main ones. Now, when we talk about network effect, we talk about marketing, and I've been talking a lot about Polkadot in terms of, well, the best marketing is price action. When the price starts to go up, people talk about it. People have now done videos on Near Protocol that have never done videos before. People are starting to talk about it all the time on Twitter. Because the price has gone up, you could probably argue this video is here, but obviously I'm a holder, so I can kind of talk about it. I've talked about Neo not too long ago. But when we talk about this is Aurora. This is a really fast and efficient Ethereum virtual machine, essentially, on the Near protocol. It works very well. It's a decent asset. And I considered buying some not too long ago, but I decided to buy in other things, right? The bottom line is simple. This could be one of the leading lights of the Near ecosystem because of what it is. It will help it massively achieve what it wants to do. And you can see the speed here provides Ethereum development experience with layer 2-like speed and scalability. We still need speed and scalability in this market. It's just the way it is. Ethereum is still a heap of... You get the idea. But yeah, there you go. More stuff there. Another one, and you may well have heard of this, is called Sweat. This was crazy when it came out. We talk about when things come out. This came out at a really bad time. September 2022. No prizes for guessing what happened to the market when that happened. There's been a lot of VC fundage of this kind of release as well. But one of the big caveats I want to say this to you is this. It's got 12 million holders. 12 million holders of this asset, right? The website's wrong. I've looked at the Explorer. But let me just explain what this is, right? This is one of the biggest assets on the ecosystem of Near. And essentially, you get paid to move. 2022, it was hyped. It was crazy. So you can download the app, you can use it. And what you can do is you run around, walk around, do whatever the hell you want, and you get paid in the Sweat token. I don't know if it's going to be a good investment, but what I will say is it will bring a lot of people into the Near ecosystem. That's all I'm going to say. Because when we talk about, like, obviously inflation and obviously how it generates the tokens and stuff, it's very much a grey area. Because I don't know much about it, right? I'm just telling you, it came out at a bad time. It's got 12 million holders. That's quite a big economy to play with. And you think about in terms of scaling them into cryptocurrency, into Near, it's probably quite a good thing, right? And the final one is a previous hold that I had was Octopus. I was a big fan of Octopus, but again, I wanted to change my risk profile, my management of my portfolio, and I removed it and bought something else with it. It's had a crazy little pump. And again, it talks about that network effect, that growth of the ecosystem, and obviously eyeballs of people now then talking about it. Again, it's very, very similar to Aurora in a certain way, but it's obviously different. But next generation, multi-chain Web3 infrastructure. This is half Polkadot because it uses the substrate technology, but it plugs into the Near ecosystem, right? It's an app chain. Works very, very well. Really, really good future element to this in terms of multi-chain and interoperability. But again, it's another one that's on there. Again, if you look at their ecosystem, there's stuff that was getting built on here, so it's a layer 1. And as you can see here with the interoperability side, it's pretty damn decent. So there's a lot of things happening here with Near. But as I say, when we talk about app chains, all these little projects that are kind of potentially going to get built around it, and the further new ones that potentially could be coming to Near, it's interesting, right? A network effect. But if you go Near blocks, okay, shows you what's happening with Near. The price, transactions, When you go into tokens, you go to top tokens, you can see what is actually happening. Now, obviously, Sweat, that's what I mean, 13 million holders. What the fuck? Mental, right? Obviously, there's some stuff that you probably know of, very, very simple, but there's some assets in here that are just Near protocol assets, and they're very, very small. Have a little look, keep an eye on them, see what they're doing, see what they're building. Obviously, some stuff's within the chain infrastructure. Obviously, you can interconnect with other chains, so you know them anyways. But yeah, This is pretty savage. You look at the holders, as I say, pretty crazy. As you see, Octopus there, Aurora, all that kind of stuff, right? Santa token. So yeah, anyways, I'm done talking. Check it out. Have a little look to see why NIA is growing, and you may well understand why. But yeah, I have liked NIA for a while. I think it's going to grow into something pretty big. Network effects going to be huge. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for growth there. And yeah, be very, very interesting to see if they can take that very, very simple model of, you know, building simple apps on on blockchains, Web3, and then if I can speak, onboarding them. There we go.